Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jenna Flanagan. When Jumaane Williams won the special election for New York City Public Advocate in February, he left his city council seat vacant. So tomorrow, voters in Brooklyn's 45th district, which encompasses the neighborhoods of Flatbush, East Flatbush, Midwood, and Canarsie, will head to the polls to elect Williams' successor in yet another special election. So joining us now with a rundown of the race and what's at stake is City and State reporter Jeff Colton. Jeff, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
So first, I want to start with voters heading to the polls. Do we have any idea how many people are even aware that tomorrow's yet another special election day?
Probably not many, but the candidates are trying really hard to raise awareness. There's posters in all the bodegas and stores around that really advertise the election day. And the candidates themselves are pushing really hard. There's been lots of flyering going on. I know Jumaane Williams himself has been seen at Newkirk Plaza handing out flyers, trying to raise awareness that tomorrow is a special election for the district.
Do we have any idea as to who the front runners are and how this race is shaping up?
So it seems like it's coming down to two candidates. There's 8 on the ballot, but the 2 leaders are Farah Lewis and Monique Chandler Waterman. Farah Lewis is Jumaane Williams' deputy chief of staff. She's been in his office for a long time. She has a lot of major endorsements. The United Federation of Teachers, a big union. She has the Brooklyn Democratic Party's endorsement. And she also has the endorsement of many of the Jewish leaders in the district. I've heard the district is roughly 20% Jewish, so it's mostly black, but that's a big population as well. Then Monique Chandler Waterman, she used to work for Jumaane Williams. Now she leads a nonprofit in the district, and she has Williams' endorsement, which is probably the most important endorsement in the race. Jumaane Williams is very popular in the district, and him endorsing a successor will certainly hold a lot of weight with the voters.
And yet this, how is that not some sort of Sophie's choice for Jumaane Williams? I mean, he seems like he has close ties with both candidates.
He does,
front
yes.
runners.
Yes, both of the front runners had worked for him in the past. My reading of the situation is that it came down to loyalty. Although Farah Lewis has worked with Williams for a long time, he knew Monique Chandler Waterman for longer, and she actually worked for him first.
Okay.
Also, it seems to be coming down to, it's not a perfect one-to-one here, but it seems like Farah Lewis is getting a lot more moderate Democratic endorsements, while Chandler Waterman is getting more of the progressive liberal Democrat endorsements. It's a city council race. Your specific politics matter less than community ties, that sort of thing. But there is a definite difference between the candidates there.
Well, it wouldn't be a city council race without some behind-the-scenes drama, and I understand that there is some controversy behind one of the candidates' support of someone who has been accused of perhaps taking advantage of some of the communities that they'd actually be advocating for.
That's right. So Farah Lewis, in the past, she wrote kind of a letter vouching for this member of the community who, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit short on the details here because it's a confusing court case, but it was somebody who took advantage of, I believe, Haitians seeking asylum.
Yeah.
She wrote a letter vouching for his character, even though the court case seemed pretty clear that this man was taking advantage of other people. So, this was some opposition research that came up from the candidates. They tried to post it to make Farah Lewis look bad. We'll see if it really hits with the voters, if that affects their choice here.
Well, considering that this was allegedly someone taking advantage of the Haitian community, do we have any idea as to how the ethnic breakdown of this race might be? I mean, that's a big thing here in New York.
Yeah, this is the heart of Caribbean Brooklyn. This is the Little Haiti district. Farah Lewis is of Haitian descent. I believe basically all the candidates have some kind of West Indian descent. So I've heard that there's a real mix of people, trying to win each different ethnic category. It's really going to come down to the get out the vote here. Who can pull out the most voters, and it'll be interesting to see the voting breakdown after the election.
It certainly will for what's predicted to be a cold, rainy Tuesday in May. But either way, we definitely know that a woman will be taking most likely, I should say, will be taking Jumaane Williams' spot in City Council, which is interesting because City Council is still trying to deal with some issues of its own regarding how it addresses sexual harassment, and that's come to a head recently with Bronx Councilman Ruben Diaz Sr.
That's right. Diaz Sr. has a long history of offensive comments. Now, he's socially conservative, but there's a big difference between being socially conservative and being outright offensive. he started his career back in the 90s, or at least rose to public knowledge by saying that the gay games, this kind of Olympics for the LGBT community, should not come to New York because they're all going to spread AIDS. Just very offensive stuff. And, he's continued to make comments like that. Most recently, in a council sexual harassment training session, he said that no, he would not report sexual harassment if he saw it happen because he wouldn't be a snitch. Just the kind. He's basically implying that he followed up on that, implying that victims of harassment don't even know. He said, "Oh, harassment sometimes is a compliment." This is just, he does not fit in with the rest of the city council, which is very concerned about these issues. They've been doing a lot of trainings, and he's been widely denounced by his colleagues.
Well, the reason why I bring that up again is because, once again, it seems like the city council will be holding another vote to try to determine how they're going to address the councilman's comments.
That's right. In fact, one of his colleagues, Queens Councilman Barry Grodenchik, he was just accused of sexual harassment recently and stripped of his position on the budget negotiating team, this important position where you actually get to work with the mayor on the budget. I'd imagine after Diaz's comments, the council will be pressured to, again, sanction him in some way. We haven't heard yet what they'll do or whether they will respond, but it's likely that we'll see something, whether that's another stripping of a committee membership or some other kind of response.
All right, well, looking far ahead into the political future, Ruben Diaz's comments might not be a big deal for the city council for much longer. Why is that?
Yes, well, Ruben Diaz Sr. has announced that he intends to run for Congress. Congressman Jose Serrano, who's represented parts of the South Bronx for decades, announced that he will not run for re-election. Diaz Sr. said that he intends to run for that seat in 2020. He will be facing some much younger, more liberal candidates in City Councilman Richie Torres, Assemblyman Michael Blake. So that's sure to be a race to get a lot of attention and excitement.
I would definitely say that that's worthy of a lot of attention and excitement. Just for your own beat, is there anything on the horizon that you're definitely looking forward to outside of this race in the 45th District?
Gosh, outside of that, the Eric Garner trial is happening this week, the next 2 weeks, really. It's going to be long. A officer involved in his arrest, Daniel Pantaleo, is finally facing charges. It's been almost 5 years since the death of Eric Garner on Staten Island. It's an internal police disciplinary trial. It's not your typical criminal trial. So the worst punishment that Pantaleo could face is a firing from the police department. But Eric Garner's family has been very vocal that they are expecting a full termination and some resolution to this case nearly 5 years on.
All right. Well, this will definitely be something that I think, even though it is an internal trial, will be something that New Yorkers will pay close attention to, because that was a very painful situation. And my God, 5 years already. Listen, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate hearing about your take on the city and the state, and we look forward to having you back.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.